Story time. I don't remember when the Boston Marathon bombing was, but Hunter was going to school in Boston at the time. I was working at the television station. I saw the monitors and I saw what was happening. Here's the backstory. Several days or maybe even weeks before, I felt led in my spirit to pray for Hunter. I would pray for Hunter anyway, but this was more like, you really need to pray for her. And I was like, okay, I'll pray more for her. So when the Boston Marathon bombing happened, Hunter's school was like on that street. Was it Tremont? Um, anyway, her college, Emerson College, is on that street where the bombing happened. And I tried to call her. I was at work, I was under deadline, and I could not reach her. What did I do? You would not have even known that my daughter was in Boston and there was a bombing in that area. You would not have known. Because I didn't show any fear, any worry, anything. I was watching the monitors, typing my story, trying to get it done. I did go finally into my news director and I said, hey, if I seem a little off, this is why. My daughter's there and this is going on, and I couldn't reach her, my only child. So then I called my aunt, who worries a lot, just, worries a lot. And so I said, do not worry about her. She's going to be okay. And I know this because there is no way that God would let something happen to her without telling me beforehand. So I'm like, I'm not worried about it. So don't you worry about it. And she was like, okay. And she was glad that I called. And I called my mom. I told her, don't worry. I haven't heard from Hunter yet, but she's okay. She's okay. So again, I'm under deadline, and the 4 o'clock producer is like, Yvonne, you really need to get that story in. And, and I was just like, I didn't say what was going on, but I was just like, okay. So I'm like trying to concentrate, getting the story in and watching what's happening. And really, when I couldn't reach Hunter, I just said, well, I can't reach her because people who need help, the emergency workers need to be able to get through. That's more important. My child, she's okay, so she doesn't need to be on the phone because that would just tie up the emergency lines. So that was my thinking. And so I did end up getting a phone call from Hunter, was very happy. I let them at the station know that she was in Boston. Hunter happened to be at a movie that was a block away. And so she didn't know anything about it until she came out. So on the news that night, they interviewed her just, on the telephone, just like where she was and what was going on. And that producer that worked the 4 o'clock show that was like on me to, get my story in, we're on a deadline. He apologized and said, I had no idea that was going on. I had no idea that your daughter was there and you were dealing with that yesterday. So, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because when God leads you to pray about something, do not question it. Don't question it. These are prayers that are needed for the time of whatever is going on. Just do it. The thing about me is that things don't have to make sense with me, with God. They don't have to make sense at all. I'm not even going to try to figure him out. I'm just going to try to do what he says do. When he says, okay, you should pray. Okay. And so, I wanted to share that with you. Just be obedient. Don't worry about trying to figure it out. It's not for you to figure out. You can't figure out God. You're not that smart. I'm not that smart. Obey God, even when it doesn't make sense. That is today's wisdom from Yvonne.